What's going on, guys? So I know I haven't uploaded in a while, and I'll explain that in a little bit, but I just want to talk about what's going on so far because, my first video back after weeks is, you can tell by the title, the NBA is in a really bad state right now, and honestly, the problem is that this was inevitable and the NBA had no way to react. And if you don't know what's going on, basically what's happened in other sports with the NFL, with baseball, playing outside of the bubble, playing, sports as usual, traveling and doing all that stuff, it creates problems when you're in the middle of a panorama. It's clearly happening now. The NBA is, having positive cases, games are getting postponed, and it's just happening again and again. And the NBA is just kind of shrugging it off and moving on, which is a terrible look for the NBA after getting praised last summer for doing that bubble, having no cases, doing everything so safe and having all the right protocols. It just worked out perfectly, and the NBA got so much praise because they were standing out from the others while everyone else was struggling. The NBA was doing just fine. And now here we are where practice facilities get closed and players get COVID, and now you have games postponed, and now you have meetings that are happening deciding what to do next. And unfortunately, what the right approach should be, and what I'm going to talk about in this video, the NBA needs to shut down again. And it sucks, obviously it does. The season just started like a few weeks ago. It hasn't even been a month. But when you're thinking about what's going on right now, COVID is basically uncontrollable right now in terms of the NBA. Like, you can't contain this because the way things are and the way the NBA works, it's just so hard to track this stuff. And it started with Seth Curry testing positive during a game while he was on the bench, and that created issues. The Sixers had to quarantine while they were still in Brooklyn, and then we also came out that other players and other teams tested positive. The Celtics, Jason Tatum got COVID, so that basically put his entire team under protocol. They don't have enough players, so then the games get postponed. Same thing that's happening with Dallas right now. I just read that like 4 players tested positive, so the practice facility shut down, and now that game is postponed. That was supposed to happen tonight. So it's just happening again and again. And the sad thing is that everyone knows why the season is happening, why it's starting so early and all of this stuff. And look, as interesting as much as we all love watching basketball, I was very clear in other videos that I was not comfortable with them starting so early. I feel like starting at the end of December was just not the right time, in the middle of like the biggest spike when everyone said that COVID was going to get so much worse in the country. And I mean, look at what's happening right now. What's happening in the NBA is basically a direct replication of what's happening across the country. Cases are on the rise, deaths are up, hospitalizations are up, the hospitals are filling up. It's just at like an uncontrollable rate. And I don't know why the NBA thought that they'd do something different. You can put any protocol, any replacement, you can put anything in the book. You can put as much protocol and restriction as you want. It's inevitable the way that the NBA has set up. It was inevitable that people were going to get sick. So it's unfortunate that it came to this, and now we have to deal with, what's going to happen next, right? So far, the NBA is saying that, no, we're not going to shut down. We're just going to tighten our restrictions. But again, how many more restrictions can you put in for there to be more positive tests? I'm sure that putting in more restrictions will reduce the number like a smidge, but it's not going to control the thing to the point where you don't have to worry about players getting COVID, and you don't have to worry about team outbreaks where you're going to have the entire team basically missing. That's just what it is right now. Like, look at what the Sixers had. Tyrese Maxey, who was a great rookie, by the way, had to play 45 minutes a game because Ben Simmons was out, Seth Curry was out, Embiid was out. Well, they only had 7 players in a game. 7. You cannot have a team with 7 players and force them to play. Do you know how terrible of a look that is for the NBA? The league that got praised for the bubble, now they're forcing teams to play when they only have 7 players. Doc Rivers wasn't comfortable with it. He said that, I don't even know why we're playing. We barely have enough players. We're not going to have anything. This is just bad for us. Of course it is. So, like, it's ruining the league, it's ruining teams, and it's messing up standings. It's just not a good look. And it just creates so much more chaos than you want. Like, the NBA thought they had something in plan, right? They thought that, okay, we can just replicate our success outside the bubble, which does not make sense at all. The bubble worked perfectly because it was a bubble. It was restricted, you could not leave anywhere. It was a very specific area and you could not leave that area. They had all the testing and the contact tracing. It got to the point where there were no tests and you could go on as normal. That's how it worked. It was going to happen outside the bubble. Look at what the NFL did. Look at what the MLB did. Everyone saw that happening. And the NBA just said that we'll do the same thing? Like, really? Like, come on. It's just a terrible look. And it's honestly sad that it had to get to this point. And now the question is, where do you go from here, right? Because this is happening again. Games are still happening, right? Like, there's going to be games on tonight. You know, one is postponed, another one's postponed tomorrow, but there's no sign of anything changing. There's no signs of a temporary stoppage. Like, to me, the bare minimum the NBA should do is a 2-week pause. Just stop everything for 2 weeks. Let all the players quarantine so that you can get all the COVID cases down. Everyone's recovered, everyone's quarantined, and then resume play. That's the bare minimum for what the NBA should do. But what I think they should do, like, to me, they should just halt the season entirely for at least a month, maybe even 2. Because playing basketball right now, any sport in this point right now, in January, where the cases are like at the worst right now in the country, it is so stupid to be doing this. Like, it was just so preventable. Like, it was so preventable. And it sucks because the players, you know, they agreed to the conditions that they were given, you know, and I understand that they didn't want to do a bubble because no one wants to be trapped in a hotel room and away from your family for 7 months, but, you know, the bubble would have been a better idea. I thought they were going to do a bubble, you know? I thought that the NBA knew better. I thought that after seeing the success that they had in the summer, that they would continue that, but, you know, it's a money thing, right? That's how all this stuff is, you know? It's so easy to just get distracted from all the things that's happening. It's very clear what this is all for. It's all for the money, right? Like, it's just, you know, it makes you make more money starting easy. The NBA is worried that they're losing a lot of money, and look, who gives a shit about the money? People are getting sick, man. Like, come on, that's the whole thing about this. Like, and look, I understand that's just the way this stuff is, and you can't do anything about it. I wish you could, but you can't. But I just hope that the NBA gets its act together, because this is just a terrible look for them. I don't know how you save face for this without stopping play, because the more you let this go on, the more it looks bad. Because I thought they should have stopped a week ago. I thought that after the Seth Curry situation, you just stop it right there. Stop it right there before anything gets worse. Because, I mean, think of all of the situations. And the NBA had such a terrible, like, quarantine exposure rule. Like, they had it so that, okay, Jason Tatum, you know, he tests positive. So a bunch of his teammates have to quarantine now too. Which is, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Because they got exposed. But then, what, like 2 or 3 other... But then, like, what, 7 players who were also in direct contact, they also still have to play? Like, what is this? Like, it's just so bad. And honestly, it looks worse than the NFL did. Actually, that's not true. I don't want to compare. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure. I just hope that there's some direction. I hope that the NBA figures this out. I hope they can just shut down. That's what they should do. Just shut down for a month or 2. Wait for the vaccine to become more available. It's already here. People are getting vaccinated. So just wait until more people are able to get it. And then hopefully things are starting to get better in a month or 2. We're not at this point and you can start play again. You're not going to, you know, it's not going to be as ideal, but, you know, I think it's the best case. Put public health over profit, man. Come on. But also, let's be clear. It's not like everyone's excited about these games anyway. Like, look, let's be honest, guys. The games have been kind of lame so far. Like, think of how many blowouts we've seen. Like, are we really all that excited for basketball right now? Especially in January. Like, the college football national championship game is tonight. the playoffs for the NFL are happening, no one's really paying attention to the NBA right now anyway. So at this point, you could just shut down temporarily. It's not going to be like a big hit because no one's really watching the NBA anyway right now because there's other things going on in January like there always is. The NBA is not going to get all that kind of attention until after the Super Bowl. So I just wait. Pause until March. Start at the beginning of March, or even at the earliest, start at the end of February, you know? I think that would be the better idea. But they're not going to do that, at least from what we're seeing. It's going to continue to spread. More teams are going to test positive. More games are going to get delayed. And that's just going to be what happens. And the NBA said they knew what to do in case of situations like this, but at this rate, it looks like a complete mess. So I hope the NBA, figures this stuff out, because it's not a good look for them at all. But yeah, that's my take on all this stuff. I wanted to give my thoughts on this because when I saw this stuff happen, I really was angry about it because I knew this could have been prevented. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that kind of rant thing. I had to get that out because of everything that happened. But yeah, it's not the video I wanted to be my first back after, this week. It's definitely not what I wanted to be the first video of 2021, but we're here now. But don't worry, more videos are going to come that are going to be different from this. It's going to be more lighthearted and stuff, but I had to get this off my chest. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. Comment down below what you think about this whole situation. Do you think the NBA should shut down, or do you think they'll be able to just continue moving forward like they've continued to do right now? And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications so you don't miss an upload. I am back now after a little bit of a break. The new year, I'm going to go really hard this year. Hopefully create a bunch of new content for you guys. And also hopefully get on a consistent schedule. I have planned to upload multiple times a week actually, which is going to be fun. And I do have another video coming out in a couple days or so. So be on the lookout for that. And hopefully I can get into a schedule and help this channel grow. So yeah, your support would be greatly appreciated. Anyways, with that being said, thank you guys as always for the continuous support, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.